hmm Hi everyone, welcome. I hope everyone's doing having a good Friday. Um, so about a day or two ago, there was a video being reacted to by the great folks at Kino Casino, Ashton and Andy Woodson, and they were going over a video regarding Carl Jobs. Now, Carl Jobs is a content creator that goes over cheaters in speedrun games. Then one day, he decides to go after the big puma, someone by the name of Billy Mitchell. Billy Mitchell was the man that set the highest Donkey Kong record, and over the past couple of years, Carl Jobs was poking at Billy. And it's interesting because it's kind of reminiscent of a particular man and another man having a court case. Now, this court case where Carl Jobs and Billy Mitchell ended in a way Carl Jobs and the defendant didn't expect to end. The fate of Carl Jobs could be a telling tale of what Dave could be going through if he does a cease and desist. There was, in this video that I'm going to share with you from Carl Jobs, where he goes over the whole lawsuit, the updates and whatnot. I'm hoping I could point out the parallels between this case and what may happen with Dave and Jeremy Hills. So please do me a favor, sit down, relax, and just see what will be the future of Dave if he doesn't get this under control. So let me put this here. There you go. A second.
4 years, I have been in denial. Billy's lawsuit against me alleged that I accused Billy of being a major contributing factor in Apollo Legends' decision to take his own life, and I have
Quickly to get everyone to speed. Initially, everyone thought that Billy Mitchell was suing Carl Jobs for defamation and slander regarding the speedrunning stuff. It wasn't the case. It was more so that Carl Jobs alluded that Billy Mitchell was responsible for another speedrunner by the name of Apollo Legends suicide. And that's where, just figured to catch you up on that.
always denied that, both in my legal defense and publicly. I would pick apart the exact words that I used and argued that I never technically said that. And if anyone did come away from my statements with the impression that Billy was in some way responsible, then it was their fault for adding meaning to my words that weren't there. I didn't want to believe I implied what the lawsuit accused me of implying for two main reasons. Firstly, it would have been terrible for my defense if it were true and the thought of losing the lawsuit was something I couldn't bear to deal with. And secondly, it's a disgusting and terrible thing to imply. Regardless of whether or not I believed what I said to be true at the time, which I did, and even if the facts I presented were correct, which was that Apollo had to pay a large sum of money in his settlement which put him into debt, I still had no justification for making the connection between Billy and Apollo's suicide. Apollo never suggested it himself, and the evidence doesn't point to it. I held on to the belief that I did not make that claim all the way through the lawsuit, and even after the judge's verdict, which ruled that I did make that claim, I refused to accept dropped it. I was fully intending on appealing, and referred my case to a much more experienced and much more expensive lawyer for his opinion, and I fully expected him to confirm my belief and tell me that the judge was wrong. But he didn't. He told me that I did imply that and it was defamatory, and in fact, he outright refused to appeal the decision even though I wanted to, because I simply had no case. Now that the lawsuit has been over for a couple of months, and I no longer...
Okay. So, a high-priced lawyer said to Carl that you have no case in this. There is no recourse for you to have an appeal. It will be a waste of money, a waste of time, right? Any good, decent lawyer would tell you that. Now, I have no idea what type of lawyer Carl had for the initial stuff, but the fact that someone else says that you can't do it, you can't appeal it, it's very interesting. And the original the original ruling was that Carl Judge had to pay over, I think, $450,000 to Billy Mitchell, and for damages and stuff. And again, he goes on Discord and he figures that he has a case, that he's fighting for right. But that wasn't the case. So again, this could be the future of Dave in this respect. If he was to lose the case against JH, the lawyer could say that you don't have room for appeal. That could be a very strong thing about that. And initially, all the bullshit slander that Carl had against Billy Mitchell, he was given the opportunity to settle, tap out, and not do the court case. I think he had to pay he had to take down the videos and pay $150,000. But it would have been over, right? Carl didn't do that because he figured he had a case, and no one smart enough told him to. So no one in the legal team was smart enough to tell him, hey, you should take the settlement and leave it alone. So hopefully Dave will understand that having a good lawyer, a good legal team, a legal mind can help in the long run.
Have a vested interest in being correct, it has allowed me to finally accept that in this instance, Billy wasn't lying and his lawsuit against me was not unjustified. I defamed Billy. My actions were unacceptable, and that's why he won. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean that Billy didn't also lie a lot, even in court, and it doesn't mean I actually caused him hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages like the judge asserted, and it doesn't mean I didn't also have a valid defense that
if you believe, if Carl believes all of that, then you should appeal. If you firmly believe that you didn't do any of that stuff, instead of doing it in a video, do it on a court case. Appeal it. Don't take it for what it's worth. See, the thing is that I have a feeling in my heart that certain people would go on the internet and say, but I was right, but I didn't get a chance to prove my case. I lost on wherever, but I'm right, but I'm not going to appeal to it. That makes no sense. It's like saying, for example, you got found guilty, you know that you're innocent, but you're going to let the ruling stand. Do you see what I'm trying to say? And that could be something Dave could do if he is found guilty or found wherever. There might be a chance that he might go on his YouTube, say a whole bunch of stuff, but yet not act upon fixing it.
could have possibly won on. But just in principle, I was at fault. My actions were wrong, and to be quite honest, after the dust has settled, I now personally believe I should have lost the lawsuit. However, I still think the damages awarded were far, far too high. Hopefully this result can have a positive impact on the broader community, by forcing people to think twice about making claims about things they aren't privy to, or have very good evidence for. I can
Exactly. That right there could be again that piece of advice like Carl spouted out could be something for anyone. Anyone that A-logs anyone that gets into criminal court cases and put their nose where they don't belong, and they insinuate shit about people, you have to be careful what you say or what you do. You have to have evidence. You gotta have facts. You gotta show your work on why this person is a bad person or not. You can't go by hearsay. You can't go by what other people are saying to you. You gotta show your work. If this was my class, he has to keep up to show their work.
certainly tell you that for me personally, though it was a very expensive and tough lesson to learn, my channel and my investigative work improved dramatically after I got sued. And in the long run, it would have been a very
I feel as though he got the subs because people were like galvanizing to him, but when Kino Casino had reacted to this, which by the way, in the description there's their YouTube channel for all that stuff and stuff. Their stream itself is on Kick. But I digress. The interesting part about Carl is like the problem is that you are allowing yourself you're allowing yourself to be talking at both sides of your mouth. You are saying one thing and doing another, and that's not good. Okay, let's go back a little bit.
people to think twice about making claims about things they are.
That's yes, and also the other thing is that you had to be wary about the claims you make about people, because again, it could lead into nonsense. You could get yourself into trouble where it doesn't need to. And Billy had to cease and desist with Carl multiple times, but he kept on doing it because he figured I'm on the right side of everything. 1 second. Oh. Okay. Perfect. No, I'm just reading stuff on. I also want to check. Oh my God. I tell you. Okay, so let's continue.
Aren't privy to, or have very good evidence for. I can certainly tell you that for me personally, though it was a very expensive and tough lesson to learn, my channel and my investigative work improved dramatically.
And also, at the time of Kino Casino reviewing this, Carl had lost 10,000 subscribers. Like, his channel is like going down bit by bit. Because he lost on, people assumed one thing and he lost on a whole different thing.
quickly after I got sued, and in the long run, it would have been a very worthwhile experience for me to have gone through. In saying that, I have allowed my feelings towards Billy negatively affect my judgment at every step of the way. I think Billy is a terrible person. I think he sues innocent people. I think he is a cheater and a compulsive liar. But that does not mean I can say and do whatever I want in response. Two wrongs don't make a right. Billy can lie all he wants, but I shouldn't let his actions affect my own moral compass. And once I realized I was wrong back in 2021, my retraction should have been far better. Again, at the time, I was in denial and I didn't want to believe my mistake was that severe, so I felt as though making a retraction at all was sufficient. And I really did want the video with the retraction in it to get a lot of views. But it really should have been its own video, and not placed at the end of a separate video. I don't think all retractions need to be in a separate video, but considering the severity of my mistake, which I now acknowledge, in hindsight, it really should have been its own video. Even the retraction itself wasn't very good either. I only apologized for making a factual error about the details of the settlement, and I just denied there were any further more serious implications. And I also took the opportunity to continue to criticize Billy while I was at it. In Billy's response video, he said that I was accusing him of murder, which is of course hyperbolic and ridiculous. So that also made me less inclined to make a proper retraction, which again is wrong. Billy is always going to say stupid shit. It shouldn't affect my own actions. I made a mistake, I wronged Billy, so I should have owned up to it completely and with integrity. I also completely mishandled the way I communicated to the public in regards to the lawsuit. Obviously, I was intentionally choosing not to disclose what the lawsuit was about. I even said this multiple times, so it wasn't exactly a secret. Normally, I'd give you a full breakdown of this kind of thing, but because this one involves me, I'm going to keep my cards a lot closer to my chest. What I will tell you is that I am being sued for defamation, and the amount of damages being sought is $450,000. I will definitely be giving you updates as we go, but I don't want to give out too many details or strategies before I use them in court. Billy Mitchell is referring to the YouTuber Apollo Legend, who tragically took his own life in December of 2020. I won't go into specifics about this particular point because it does relate to his ongoing lawsuit against me. I didn't want to talk about it because what I said was wrong, and I was afraid to repeat it. However, if I didn't want to make it clear to everyone exactly what the lawsuit was about, I shouldn't have turned it into this giant public spectacle. The truth is, I did want as many people to know about the lawsuit as possible because I legitimately thought I had a good chance of winning. I was not willing to concede on any issues whatsoever or entertain the opposite viewpoint. To put it bluntly, I was deluded. It's very easy to see this now, after the fact. However, it would be very difficult for many people to understand what it is like to be a defendant in a lawsuit, let alone one that was this complex. Again, just because I made a mistake in what I said originally, that doesn't mean Billy automatically wins. Defamation cases aren't that simple.
But he did win. He won, he won the case. His case is better than yours. And again, like, I know everyone has in their mind that they're always the good guys and stuff. I totally understand that. But if you were given ample time and you have the best lawyers, or the best lawyers your community could provide you, and you believe that you have the truth and the evidence on your side, then all of this stuff should not be said. At the very least, you should be able to, prove your case. It makes it seem like there was evidence that was hidden away, or there were certain defenses that Carl could not use in his in this court case. Like, it made it sound like he wasn't capable of probably defending himself, which, to my knowledge, I haven't heard anything like that.
Don't blame myself for fighting as hard as I did or believing that I would win, because I think that is a pretty natural tendency for most people to have in my position. But I had way too much hubris. I took a huge gamble and it backfired. Now I look like an idiot. The situation was pretty crazy though, and is definitely not something you can prepare for psychologically or emotionally until it happens. The entire lawsuit was extremely stressful, and I was trying to deal with it in the bravest way possible. Even though I thought I would win, that didn't make the ordeal any less stressful or tormenting, because you never know for sure what's going to happen. I never personally lied about what the lawsuit was about, but I was obviously negligent in some way, given how many people had the wrong impression. My most egregious error was showing news articles about the lawsuit and a news clip which were incorrectly reporting on the lawsuit. I thought it made for good content, and it was interesting to see what the news was saying, so that's why I wanted to show it. But I either shouldn't have shown what the news was saying at all, or I should have specifically clarified that it was incorrect if I did. And to be clear, I did not search out incorrect reporting to intentionally mislead people. Clearly, showing a clip and not correcting it is misleading, and I fully appreciate how wrong that is now, but at the time there was simply no correct reporting on the lawsuit whatsoever. Everyone was reporting on it wrong. I wanted to show what the news was saying, but every single news article or post about it was wrong. I wasn't trying to do something nefarious, it was just stupid and thoughtless, and I didn't give my audience enough consideration or respect to make sure they weren't confused. And for that, I am deeply sorry. Now, let's talk about money. The total amount of damages plus interest in the judgment of the lawsuit was $390,000. In this video, I'm going to be using Australian dollars, but whenever I mention a figure, I will also place the amount in US dollars in the top right of the screen to make things easier for those in the US. The judgment isn't all that I would need to pay, however. In Australian courts, in almost all circumstances, the loser must pay the winner a percentage of their legal fees. Finding out exactly how much I would have needed to pay could have also been a lengthy and expensive process, which would have involved even more court hearings and more legal fees. So to make things easy, my lawyers reached out to Billy's lawyers to confirm how much they spent and how much they would be willing to accept. According to Billy's lawyers, he incurred costs of $686,000, and he would agree to a payment of $600,000 without the need for any further hearings. And I accepted this proposal, which meant that my total debt to Billy was $990,000. However, I do not have $990,000. In fact, I have no money. My total legal fees were around the same as Billy's, and while the public and especially Notch were very generous to me, I still had to spend at least $150,000 of my own money to cover them, and despite what Billy seems to believe, I am not rich. Therefore, because I could not cover the judgment debt, I filed for voluntary bankruptcy on the 9th of May. The entity that administers the bankruptcy is called the trustee, and it's the job of the trustee to take possession of any assets or property they are legally allowed to possess and realize their value, which simply means they take what they are allowed to take and they sell it for money, which they can then give to creditors, with creditors being the people you owe money to. As part of the bankruptcy process, the trustee conducted a thorough investigation of my financial position. I had to give them all of my bank statements and company records going back over 4 years, which was well before I was even sued. The purpose of this investigation was to uncover any assets they can possess and ensure that I haven't done anything dodgy. For example, to make sure I didn't secretly sell or give some property to a family member to hide it, or something similar. If I did do that, they'd be able to reverse that transaction, and if I lied about it to try and hide it, that would be committing a crime. On the 6th of June, the trustee issued a full report to my creditors, including Billy, outlining their findings and outlining how they have conducted the bankruptcy so far. So in this part of the video, I will be including screenshots directly from their report to confirm the legitimacy of what I'm saying. My bankruptcy was a relatively simple one. Firstly, I don't have any cash. I was asked to provide statements for all of my bank accounts, which I did, but the trustee even did their own independent search with all major banks. And the small amount of cash I do have, I was allowed to keep for living expenses. And before I go on, some of you may be wondering how spouses are treated in bankruptcy. And in Australia, a spouse is not liable in any way, and anything my wife owns cannot be touched unless it is jointly owned between the two of us. Along with my wife, I own 2 properties. In 2015, we purchased a small townhouse valued at $350,000, and then after we started a family, we upgraded to a larger family home valued at $1.2 million. Of course, this doesn't mean we paid that amount of money to own these properties. For our townhouse, we put down a $60,000 deposit and the rest was covered by a mortgage. By 2022, the value of the townhouse had gone up slightly, and thus we were able to remortgage the property and withdraw the extra equity to put a deposit down on our new house. And it was a 10% deposit. So while the house was worth $1.2 million, we only needed to raise just over $100,000 to buy it. As part of the bankruptcy investigation, a valuation was conducted on our properties. At the time I filed for bankruptcy, my townhouse had increased in value to $635,000 and my current house had risen in value to $1.35 million. The total value of the 2 properties being almost $2 million. However, the total amount of the mortgages equals 1.4.
He essentially had to file for bankruptcy just so, because he has no money. Like he literally put all his chips in the basket. So now he has to, take off for assets. Like everything, like he basically has nothing. Like all the money that he will be making will mostly go to Billy. Okay. And so when Dave says, "I'm broke or I have no money, go ahead, sue me." The problem is that if Jeremy does get the verdict, and wherever the damages is, if it's something close to what Billy did to Carl, which I don't know, maybe 450, maybe to be fair, 250. Let's just say that, right? He would still, like, he would have to work just to pay off stuff for JH. Okay, that's the dangerous part. And also, the thing is that even if he goes to his, let's say he loses the case. Let's just assume he loses the case, and let's just say he does the opposite of what Carl, and he wants to go ahead with the stuff, with the appeal. It would cost more money. It'll be like double or nothing. He will be playing double or nothing against JH. And if he loses the appeal, he loses out more money because of legal fees, and he'll be more in the hole. Because think about it, just because you lose a court case doesn't mean life stops. You have bills, credit cards, debt. You have to feed yourself. You have to feed the people you take care of. You have to live a life. But your way of spending your money at this point, your money is not your money anymore. Your money is the winner of that lawsuit's money. You need money to survive. If you have $10 to your name, guess what? The majority of that $10 will go to the person that's suing you. And file for bankruptcy doesn't save you from a court case, from a ruling. It doesn't. So I think I want people to understand that this could be his future if he doesn't go and get this stuff settled. Because either he rips the band-aid off, or it's like the Chinese war torture, or not Chinese war torture, it'll be the death by 1,000 paper cuts. And I don't know which is apropos.
$4 million. Therefore, the actual equity that we own in both properties is just under $600,000. In the event that someone goes bankrupt and they jointly own a property, the trustee will first allow the co-owner who is not bankrupt to purchase the bankrupt share. If you go to the Australian government website, it states, where the co-owner is not bankrupt and the realization of the property will provide a return to the estate, the co-owner is to be invited in the first instance to make an offer to purchase the trustee's right, title, and interest. And the key wording here is in the first instance, which means before anything else, which is exactly what happened. As per the trustee's report, it states, on appointment, Miss Wong put forward a without prejudice offer to purchase the trustee's interest in the properties, whereby inter alia, Miss Wong would pay the bankrupt estate an amount totaling $224,000. Based on the following, we accepted Miss Wong's offer. On the information at hand, Miss Wong had credible and likely perspective of establishing at least a 50% interest in the properties, and Miss Wong's offer was made from externally sourced funding, which the trustees held no claim or vested interest in. The offer was quite a bit less than the real value of my equity, because for the trustee to sell the properties on the open market, it would cost a lot of money, and those costs come out of the money they would have received from the realization of the property. This isn't paid for by the bankrupt themselves. They would first have to get a court order to sell it, pay for an agent, pay for marketing, and many other costs, and they took all of this into consideration and accepted the offer. On 29 May 2025, Miss Wong and the trustees executed a deed of settlement and release. There will be no further recoveries from this source, and the report confirms they did receive this money. So as of right now, my wife owns both properties and they can no longer be touched, which is of course fantastic news. If my wife couldn't source the funds to buy out my share, the trustee would have forced us to sell the property.
He's essentially having his wife, he's allowing his wife to get property so it's not being touched by anything. Do you see what I'm trying to say? He's trying to, in a way, he's trying to separate the assets from his toxic stuff. But here's the other problem, that if Dave had a spouse, let's just say he tries to do what Carl does and signs off most of the property and other stuff to the spouse, right? You know what Carl did? Carl gave his wife full autonomy of everything. Money, property, the whole shebang. So, hypothetically speaking, if Carl's wife doesn't want to do this anymore, she owns practically everything. She could take the whole thing and leave Carl with nothing. Now, of course, that would be insinuating that something nefarious, and I would never want to say anything's nefarious. But the possibility is there that someone could take. She holds all the power. What would happen if she doesn't want to do this? You see that? So that could be something that if Dave is so desperate to keep his shit, right? He better sign off his property and other stuff that he go sign off of with someone he really, really trusts. And trust enough that that person will hold on to his stuff and not just say, see you later and take it. Because once you're bankrupt and yeah, you have no moves. You're moveless. Towards the ending of the video, Carl is talking massive amounts of stuff about Billy. Like he just double daring for another lawsuit to come about. I really do think he's trying to do the double or nothing thing. I think he figures he could win another court case, but how is he going to pay for another lawyer? What lawyer is going to take up this case if there is another lawsuit that to come about? You see what I'm trying to say? Just because you think you're on the right side of history or the right side of a conflict doesn't mean that just because you're right, automatically you have an advantage over your opponent. You have to be able and willing to go ahead and prove your case. You have to have evidence. You have to outmaneuver. You have to you have to use clever tricks and interpretations of the law to get to where you need to go to get the victory. Nothing is fair in the court cases. They say innocent proven guilty and all that jazz. You have a jury every appeal and all this other stuff, but between when court starts and court urgents, in between that, it's a dirty fight. And is Dave prepared for that? Because you could, the serving of the papers, you could avoid as much as you want. Okay, but at some point, either you're going to have a default judgment, and then you're forced to go to court, or you take that service paper, go to court, and hope wherever Dave believes in that his representation is good. I said this in the last stream. Why doesn't he have a GoFundMe page? Why doesn't he take his besties and have them donate to his GoFundMe? Now, of course, I am speculating that maybe he doesn't want anyone to know how much he's really getting from the community. Or maybe he just wants no one to know the identity of people. You also understand this. And assuming the GoFundMe is successful, what that means is you have someone's house money on you. You have people betting on you to win because they have faith in you. You have their hopes and their dreams. Well, not their hopes, but their hopes and their faith in you. And that's a big responsibility. That is something that I don't know if Dave is capable of shouldering like Atlas with the world. Because if you know you're right, asking for help is not a wrong thing. Yeah, he has a fucking Amazon wish list about all of these tchotchkes and stuff. He's got a winter coat, he's got a chair, he's got everything, right? He gets blessed with donations or willy-nilly. Now it's really time to batten down the hatches. Now it's time to really ask for help. That community that you cultivated, that community that's all about hating the other side, now the other side is going after one of their own. They're Super Dave, they're King Bestie. The person they revered and they say the words, I love you. I care about you, Dave, which again is just so stupid. The concept is it's stupid. How can you love someone on the internet? How can you have such strong feelings of someone that you never met before? And yet they talk about, and Dave talks about, they're my besties. We care about one another. We're hashtag the good guys and all this other stuff. Okay then. Then show you have a war chest. Show that at the ending of the day you have righteousness on your side. That you have good on your side. That you have the truth on your side. That you should be with your held up high and say, hey, I'm Super Dave and I'm gonna fight this till my last dying breath because I'm right. I'm a man. Okay? And I'm gonna die on my sword if need be. But I'm not gonna let go without a fight. I'm not gonna make this easy for people. But it seems like he's the opposite of that. He's showing that he's the opposite of that. Hasn't streamed, hasn't puffed out his chest, hasn't done anything. More than likely, he would rather go after people he thinks is low-hanging fruit instead of saying with his chest, I take the lawsuit. I take it with open arms. I'm not scared. I will go report tomorrow if need be. I don't care. Besties, I need your help. Help me, besties. Donate to my GoFundMe. Help me win this case. Fund me to go do this case. It's not happening. It's not happening at all. Let's continue.
properties, which would have been terrible. This idea of the joint owner being allowed to buy out the bankrupt share is basic Australian bankruptcy law. But let's take a look at how this was presented on Reddit and YouTube. In my Discord, I was explaining that my wife will buy out my properties, and I had a very open conversation about it to a few people, and I thought nothing of it at the time. But the next thing I know, my comments about my wife buying out my property were posted to Reddit, saying that I was boasting about moving assets to my wife before declaring bankruptcy to avoid paying creditors, which of course is not what I said at all. And the comments were all claiming that I was bragging about committing fraud and that I'm a criminal. I'm surprised to learn how many Australian bankruptcy lawyers there are on r/YouTube drama. To be clear, the moment I went bankrupt, the trustee took possession of my share of the properties. My wife bought out my shares of the properties from the trustee. The money the trustee receives is then given to the people that I owe money to. On YouTube, things weren't any better. LUS is a channel that claims to be a lawyer, and just like Reddit, he was calling me a criminal because he doesn't understand basic Australian bankruptcy law. To be clear,
Karl Jobes, on the other hand, we are going to talk. I saved the best statement for last because, in my opinion, if this is real, if he was sued, he lost, then he had his wife buy his equity in a home so he doesn't pay Billy Mitchell, and he's admitting so on Discord. We are crossing the line of criminal right now. We need to send these to the bankruptcy court. We need to send this video to the bankruptcy court. I need to get in touch with the bankruptcy court and let them know what's going on. Because if this is real, and this is not sarcasm, there are many things that Karl said that he could end up in jail. Forget owing a bunch of money. What Karl was doing, trying to hide assets, is actually criminal.
And he and his followers actually did report me to the Australian government. I know this because the bankruptcy trustee told me. But of course, nothing happened because I didn't do anything wrong, and everything that I explained can be found in 2 seconds on the Australian government website. I would like to give these people the benefit of the doubt though, and I don't think they were all acting in bad faith. When I covered The Completionist, I also recommended that people should report the charity to the relevant authorities. So I don't blame anyone for that, and it would be extremely hypocritical for me to chastise someone for reporting what they believe to be a crime. But of course, it does upset me to see so many people believe misinformation, whether intentional or not, and to then use that misinformation to form such a terrible opinion of me. At least when I made my videos on The Completionist, they weren't just based on a few Discord messages. In my Completionist videos, I contacted the charity to get further confirmation. I checked all of the tax documents. I even reached out proactively to some ordinary gamers to work with him to make sure that I wouldn't make.
I love how these two took down the Completionist for charity fraud. Now, there was a little weird stuff that was going on with the Completionist's charity, but at the end, the money was returned to the charity. And after the fact, Murder Horrors got his shit kicked in by Mama Max, Nextaku, the Right Opinion, the bear guy, Nick Andrews, and Karl Jobs got BTFO by Billy Mitchell, and now it's filed for bankruptcy and now has to pay off a lot of money to not only to Billy but to everyone else. The completion is trying to bring his life together. These two are like, and more hard is like whatever. He's just wading in the pool of YouTube. People still like him for his stories and stuff, and like I don't know if it's the same fever he got for back in the day when he was big upping Boogie, talking down to Boogie, telling Boogie he's a POS, and all this other stuff, like wagging and spinning at Boogie for good reason, but still. Now all of a sudden it's just like he fumbled the social bag, and yeah, just it's like they say, when you point at someone, 3 are pointing right back. It's when you point a finger at someone, 3 fingers are pointing back.
any errors that I might have made if I did everything myself. The idea of just looking at a Discord message and thinking that says anything about reality is pretty ridiculous, and it's kind of shocking that people actually take these things seriously. The only other asset that the trustee took possession of is my share of the company that runs this YouTube channel. Most YouTubers of my size will create a company for their YouTube channel, so the money earned by this channel doesn't go to me directly. It goes to the company. So this answers the question of whether or not the money earned by this channel goes to Billy. No, it doesn't. Billy did not sue the company, nor does he have any ownership or interest in it. Billy can only take money from me as an individual, and only if I earn over a certain amount, which I will explain in a moment. The company was jointly owned by me and my wife, and as with my properties, with my wife being the co-owner, she was invited by the trustee to purchase my share. On the 24th of June, my wife made an offer to purchase my share for $2,000, and on the 6th of August, the trustee accepted her offer. So as of right now, my wife has total ownership of the company that owns this channel. So neither Billy nor the trustee has any claim over it or its earnings. And you might be wondering why she could buy my share so cheaply. It's because owning a share in a company doesn't really mean much if the company isn't making a profit. In order for a share to have any value to an owner, the company needs to make a profit so that it can pay a dividend. In the case of the company that runs this channel, it won't be making a profit for the foreseeable future. This is because all earnings will be redistributed through wages and expenses. Therefore, buying the share would be a complete waste of money to any potential buyer, as the owner would see zero returns. The company has 2 employees, me and my wife. It's been that way since the company's inception in 2020. And for that entire time, we have both received an equal wage. Instead of me just telling you what my wage was, I will read from the official report by the trustee, who again did a full investigation of my financial position over the past several years. The bankrupt has disclosed his interest in 1 ordinary share in Carl Jobs Gaming Proprietary Limited. Records filed with ASIC verify the bankrupt holds 50% of the company's shares on issue. The bankrupt is a former director of the company and is employed by it. The company operates, inter alia, the YouTube channel Carl Jobs, established on the bankrupt's personal image. As noted in section 4.7 above, the bankrupt has disclosed a reduction of income from $150,000 to $80,000 on his bankrupt form and advised this is attributable to the reduced cash flow of the company. Based on historical records, we initially deemed the bankrupt's estimated income pursuant to section 139Y of the Act to be $150,000, and as such may be liable for income contributions totaling $14,000 for the first year of his bankruptcy. The bankrupt has disputed this, and we are further assessing the information provided. Here, the trustee looked at the last several years of personal income from the company and assessed my predicted income to be $150,000 per year. This is important because in Australian bankruptcy, for every dollar you earn over $120,000 per year, at least in my case because I have 1 dependent, 50 cents will go to the trustee to be given to creditors. So they can't touch any of my earnings up to approximately $120,000, and then beyond that, 50% would need to go to the trustee. This $150,000 per year salary was based on previous years. However, as we all know, since the verdict, my channel has seen a large reduction in views. It seems at this moment I'm receiving about half the views I was before. Of course, I hope this improves and I will work hard to rebuild my channel, but that's where it stands as of right now. At these views, the company is not earning enough to pay 2 salaries of $150,000 plus expenses, so our salaries will be reduced. Certainly, they will be reduced to a level below the threshold where I would need to begin paying the trustee any money. In a nutshell, all of the money that this channel earns will go to company expenses and wages for my wife and I. None of the money this channel earns will go to the trustee or Billy. Australian bankruptcy lasts for 3 years. After 3 years, all of my debts are discharged, which basically means they are permanently erased. And yes, this includes my debt to Billy, as civil judgments and cost orders are considered provable debts and are discharged through bankruptcy. Aside from my properties and my share in the company, I don't have any other recoverable assets. I own a car, but it's only worth $20,000 and is jointly owned with my wife, so I'm allowed to keep it. Realistically, unless something drastically changes, the only money the trustees will get from me will be from my wife buying my properties, which again was $224,000. So out of that money, how much will Billy get? Well, first, we need to consider trustee remuneration, which is how much money the trustee pays themselves. Administering a bankruptcy is very expensive, and the estimated cost for my trustee to perform all of their duties is $50,000. This $50,000 is not paid for by me. It comes out of the money they collect. So from that $224,000, $50,000 will be paid to the trustee. After this, we have to consider the fact that Billy is not the only person I owe money to. I had credit card debts and tax debt. These were normal debts that most people have, and they were debts that I was planning to pay at some point. But because Billy forced me into bankruptcy, all of my personal debts also fell into the bankruptcy, and they also became creditors. And these other creditors will take some of the money that the trustee receives as well. I don't know the exact figure, but I would guess that Billy will receive somewhere around $150,000. And given that Billy incurred
So Now, Carl Jobs has a company that could shield him. It becomes a little buffer regarding wages or whatnot, and to some extent, it may work and stuff. Now, the question is, does Dave have a company where the the channel goes to the company and then he go offshoot the company to someone else to prevent the rigmarole of like not paying off the settlement? I doubt it. But again, even on that, ladies and gentlemen, like this could be the future. Like this his future, his financial future, and his future in general, all hinges on legal counsel, the the quality of the legal counsel, the support, and to see if he has something on to see if he has any leg to stand on. Like I said, it doesn't help one bit that Carl goes in, he loses the case, has to file for bankruptcy, and now has to pay Billy money. Like he has to pay out the settlement. So, but like I said, it could be a potential future. It all depends if you want it to be that way. Now, there is something I wanted to show that I love that I've showed this before. I've shown this before in the past, but since we have new people here, I might as well show it off yet again. So the thing is called When Doves Cry.
What is-
And I thoroughly love this bit of medium. Where the fuck is it? Does it show... Does it show timestamps? Or did he put the timestamp? No, the motherfucker didn't put no timestamp. 1 second. Can you put timestamps? Son of a bitch. I hate this. 1 second, let me see this. So, let me set this up. Either someone take away the... Oh, there you go. One. There you go. I set it up. So, what we have here... This is Peepaw River. Peepaw, or I affectionately call him Santa Claus. So, what ended up happening with Dave is... Dave did a video where he was excusing a friend of theirs for being a bad person. And this is a side of Dave that I don't think the new people that came into the stream have seen. Now, like I said, after the stream I did with Sin and Victor, I was like so tired. I didn't know what. Like I was like trying to get the best content I could, trying to get everyone happy and try to put a good foot forward with the algorithm and the people. So I wanted to do as much as I can. But then after the fact, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh no, I should have show this to the audience, and I wish I showed this to the panel itself. But no matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you guys listen to this, and what you'll hear is just an amazing unhingement of Dave. The stuff I showed regarding me and the other stuff, that's small potatoes compared to what this was. This is way before this. He had another blowout on another panel. This is the second one, and he lost the plot here, and it's crazy. But this is something that the new people have not seen in a long time. So before I do all that, I'm just gonna make sure that no one is here. Perfect. Okie artichoke. Want to make sure I sexy. Go. And we're gonna play this right now.
I don't even know what's going on, so I'm going to eat.
Okay, there you go. Here we go. All right, Milltown. Thank you for calling in.
Sorry for the quality on my mic.
No, that's all fine, dude. Don't worry about it. Like I said, I've asked them to be respectful and not sit there and just pepper you.
That's a bullshit thing, because these three D-Max, who is a former editor of a big YouTuber, Roy Leon, who is a big creator, who at one time was trying to big dog Leon and said, "Oh, if you want to talk about numbers, what about your channel?" And Leon had 100,000 subscribers, and he looked like a fool. And Xylee gets real, or Xylee Star is, and it's just an old not widow. I was about to say with it. Xylee is like a old veteran of the commentary game. Used to have her show by herself, but now she works for Keemstar. Which you could look at the stuff on my videos. I digress. Let's continue.
But anyway, I have no issues with you, Milltown. I want you to understand that. So,
and I have no issues with anybody here either. So let's get that clear. You know what I'm saying? People can have issues with me. That's fine. I'm not a perfect person, so I don't understand. It's like people make mistakes. People say things. Not everybody is perfect. Xylee, you even said not that long ago. A year ago, you were in your social justice warrior phase, and you said a bunch of stuff you don't feel anymore. So it's like sometimes people make content for content, and people's views can change. I don't see where
Milltown. Obviously, you don't watch me very well. That wasn't just a year ago. That was several years ago. And it's funny that you come up here and talk about people make mistakes and people do this.
Yeah.
Sir, can I talk? Because I let you talk. Okay. It's funny that I put up a live stream. I put the live stream back up, and I made 3 posts taking accountability for it and talking about the mistakes I made in that live stream. It's funny now that you can say that, but damn if you didn't give me hell through your channel about the mistakes I made.
Are you admitting that they were mistakes?
I did a live stream last night.
See, I didn't catch. I haven't been watching your content since you had me behind a block for a while.
He becomes like, here's the first thing. That this version of Dave that you guys have been seeing does. He doesn't. He throws shit at the wall and thinks it sticks. So like, he was chirping about Xylee regarding a mistake she did about accusing 2 content creators of being bad people, which wasn't the case. I hope that. And as per usual, Dave flops his gums, and he doesn't even look into the source material. He just assumes shit, or he has hearsay, right? So now he blames not knowing about the content, about the updates about the situation that he put himself in for no fucking reason, and he decides. And he just blames it on a block. Oh, I got blocked by you, so I couldn't see it. which doesn't affect anything besides chatting. You still watch the videos and stuff, which his logic makes no sense at times. But let's continue.
While, even though all I've ever said.
You're still behind a block. I'm not going to unblock
so-
you. I unblocked
no.
Abby Blackbird before you.
That's perfectly fine, Xylee. The fact of the matter is you're upset that I have an opinion. That's what you're mad about. You're mad about
Upset that I have an opinion. Boy, I always love these fucking I love going over this. But anytime a new person asks about Dave or what's good Crash Out content, I always go to this. It makes me happy because it's like, oh, you're mad because of an opinion. Yeah, it's because you don't know what the situation is. That's the problem. You do not use videos. You don't react to stuff. That's the problem. And again, he gets very heated about it's my opinion. Yes, but sometimes you have to have basis upon your opinion. You cannot say, I like this team. Why I like this person? Why do you like this person? You cannot just go around and say, I just like them because I like them. That's not an answer. That's just a little kid answer. You're a grown-ass man. You should be able to have foundation for what you say. You know what I mean?
and you can call me hypocritical all you want, Xylee, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm entitled to an opinion. Whether it's a dumb opinion, whether it's a stupid opinion, whether it's a bullshit, nobody cares opinion, I'm still getting views, Xylee. I'm still getting views.
Oh my goodness.
I'm still getting views. Think about that. His whole fucking arc with this whole anti-Hale stuff, I want people to understand something. The evolution of it. He used to be someone that did wrestling content. Then he did interviewing content. No, then he was glazing a content creator. Pom-pomming the fucking content creator Kingdom Come. Trying to get bits and pieces of love and praise from said creator. Like doing the whole notice me senpai type of thing. Does interviews with a co-host. Then then it falls apart because of JH, allegedly. Then goes on Rumble, that shit gets fucked with. Goes on his hands and knees and begs for mercy. Because the fucking trolls would not leave him alone. They give him an ultimatum. Either you stop this or we're going to continue messing with you. Does so for a little bit. And then he continues because it's all about the views. It was never about true justice in an American way. Dave indoctrinated himself into the allurement, the praise, the love for this saga, this court case, which if you try to explain it to someone, they either have their eyes glazed over or they don't care. It's just stupidity at its finest. But the thing is, it looks on the surface like it was all about views. It was all about clout. It was all about recognition. And Dave got that from people. And he made it his content. It was the main course. There was no altruism to him. You can see it here. It's all about the views. Always about the views. Always about the subscriber count. Always about him. It was never about the kid. It was never about the family. I don't believe it has ever will. I don't think it's ever been the case. The future of Dave could be what I've shown you early in this podcast. If he doesn't fight this head on, he will he could crumble. Not will, not will, because you don't know how things can go. You don't know whether or not it could be settled or whatnot. Nothing is determined. They make a strong assumption, but 9 times out of 10, it could happen the way it could, right? So, but keep that in mind. You think he gave a fuck about this court case? No, he didn't give a fuck about the court case. What he gave a fuck about was he had his community chomping, just growling at this content. They controlled him. His community made him his puppets. That, like, I've always been saying that stuff, always. And I want people to understand that. I want people to have a full range when you're talking about Dave. It's not just the stuff you see on your guys' side. There's more stuff. There's more stuff in there. There's more nuggets of bullshit that could give you context as to why he's acting the way he acts.
So I'm sorry that you think I'm a hypocrite. No, noted. What else do you expect me to say?
So Milltown, are you taking
still
the
grown.
defense? Are you taking the defense that this is all for entertainment and you don't care about getting the facts of a situation right?
Why is nobody, let's just be honest here. Let's just be 100% honest here. Why is nobody talking about where this story came from? This story came from a person named Parking Tigers. And I got videos submitted to me from like 5 different people of Parking Tigers openly talking and saying he's proud of being a doxer, a Malik.
I want you to listen to this. Another point that this panel shows about Dave is he switches allegiance like a motherfucker. What do I mean by that? So he goes on to talk about Parking Tigers. Now I've spoken with Parking Tigers. Nice fellow, you know. We kind of did a podcast together. Nice guy, lovely guy, cool guy. But to Dave, in this time frame, he is the worst kind of person ever. He is patooey. He's everything, right? A couple of months later, when it comes to that Dovecote documentary that I spoke about last stream, oh my god, Parking Tigers is my best friend. I love Parking Tigers. I love the man so much that I had him be my co-producer, helping him make the fucking IMDb thing and whatnot, everything. That's why you cannot believe the statements he makes. You cannot believe in the proclamations he makes. They change like the wind. Again, it was never. You can say. He could come on and he could tell me, "Oh no, I've always cared about this." No, you have not. You are such a bullshit artist. It's fun. It's crazy. Being hashtag the good guys doesn't fucking mean you are just dealing with one particular family and then that's it. Being hashtag the good guys means you use your platform to do good, not just pander to people based on a family that's with a court case. That's not it. That's never been it. That's just you fucking using someone as a photo op to make your reach bigger and better. Like, what is this shit? He shows it. His allegiances are not clean. He has no friends. He just, if you disrespect him, he don't like you. If you suck on his ass, he'll love you forever. If you pretend to give a fuck about him, he'll love you too. That's the problem with him. Let's continue. Oh.
Just doxer at that. Yet he wants to play the social warrior role and stick
Okay,
up for
so-
Darcy. No, hold on, let me fucking finish.
Go ahead.
And so he plays this whole
Period,
thing.
boo.
He plays this whole fucking shit and gets everybody riled up on me. Why? Ask yourself why. Is it because there's growth on a channel and people are seeing growth and they're seeing something?
There is no fucking growth. There has never been. Let me take a step back. At the time, hearing this up, there was no growth. But when he decided to suck on the anti bandwagon, everyone came to love him. Everyone came to fucking wanna like beat up for him and like shower with. He has a praise kink, extreme praise kink. So his numbers did grow. Is it going to be? All those the thing is, all those subs are going to still stay with him if things turn sour with the court case. I don't know. I think those numbers dropped when he was dealing with his nonsense about the whole Dave Donor situation where people were split down the middle with Dave Donor. So there you go.
Catching on, and they're gonna say, "What can we get somebody on? We got to get somebody. We can't get Dave on nothing, so we'll get this whole Darcy, something I have nothing to fucking do with, something that predates me by God knows how long." And then my shit with Xylee is something completely different. I will admit, maybe I do sound hypocritical by saying she took that down.
You do. Oh,
and
you
that's
do.
fine. And that's fine. And that's fine. I will take that. I will take it because I'm not a perfect human being. I can admit I'm not a perfect human being. But when you talk, talking, hey, Xylee, you're just doing the same shit though.
No, I'm not.
You're acting like you're on a fucking moral high ground. You're not.
No, I am.
You're
Let me tell you why. Whoa. Wait, you know why I am? I am actually. You know
you're
why?
not,
No,
though.
I am. I'm telling you why I am right now. Okay, I'm gonna give you the example of why I am. Because one, I didn't cut anything out of that live stream. I put it back up and took accountability, and I
Good.
still have that. Wait, I'm not done yet.
I can
And
add in
I am not done yet. Okay, but where the hypocrisy? Where I am not done yet.
Long-winded.
I don't, bro. I took accountability and I didn't cut anything out. But you get the opportunity to cut something out of a video because you sound fucked up. I got a whole ass live stream where I sound fucked up.
okay,
Let me
wait,
ask you a question.
Hypocrisy.
Are my videos monetized, Xylee?
I don't know.
You're going to cutting of stuff. Yeah, Dave cut. Like when I tell you, and I wish I had saved this video. Back in the day, but there was a video that he did against another person that was very mean to him. Dave decides to go full Dolo mode, meaning he went full mask off. He said some outlandish shit. Disrespect. The stuff that would get you hurt type of stuff. And then like maybe 30 minutes later, there's an edit. And 30 more minutes goes on, there's another edit. It got so bad that it was barely a video to begin with. This man cut out all the bullshit that he said about this particular person, either because he's scared or someone else told him to cut the shit. You might as well have just, deleted the video and kept it pushing, but he literally started to edit out stuff. Upload, edit, upload, edit. I'm surprised he doesn't do it today. Maybe that could save him some headache for his future self.
Are they?
No, they're not. Are your videos monetized? So it's a lot different. It's a big difference being hypocritical and making money off of it as opposed to just venting your feelings.
Guess what, asshole? That live stream wasn't monetized.
Okay, sure it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Get the fuck out of here,
I have proof that it wasn't. I have a screenshot.
Hold on.
And guess what? Last night, my live stream last night, I played copyrighted music to make sure assholes like you don't even question that if it's monetized, because you can't monetize your video if it has copyrighted music on it.
Good. I'm glad you're thinking for once, Xylee. I'm glad you're using that fucking noodle of yours.
Okay.
He's a fucking idiot. You cannot monetize something that has copyrighted music. So what the fuck is he talking about using the noodle? Do you see the he's even being condescending to all the women. You're using that brand review. What the fuck are you talking about? Xylee don't like me for reasons, but like, Sally knows what the game is regarding YouTube monetization. Like it. What? The thing about Xylee is Xylee knows. Xylee got herself a career with where another problem is like she's making money. Okay, and even before she went to go make money with Mr. Daniel Keene, her scenes were fantastic. They made money. His stuff didn't make as much money as it used to be. Do you see what I'm trying to say? But again, I figure with just the ladies I'm friends with. But no, it's just any woman that has a strong bone in her body, he'll talk shit about. Oh, good job, you're using a noodle.
Well, make sure you cut more out of your video so you don't have to take accountability.
You want to know what I cut? You want to know what I cut out of my video? So people don't come after the person who blew the fucking whistle on this because he was technically fucking stalking these fucking people and asking them how. Dude, did you know Dove?
Shut the fuck up. You were talking so much shit about a person, and you cut the shit out. If you really give a fuck about other people, you would delete the video. I don't want to fuck. No one wants to hear that stuff about either everything was okay, or you just take everything out, or you just delete it, or you proofread it. Because I bet you money when he posted that video against that person, no one in his ear told him, "Hey, maybe this is our good luck. Maybe you should not do this." He posted it, and he made himself looking like an idiot every edit he did. Every fucking edit he did.
Had this guy was in her server for so long, and he would literally time her on how long she would say, "I have to clean my kitchen," and she got weirded out by that. And the second she starts distancing herself from this individual, this person goes on this whole spree of Dove's a doxer. So why don't you ask yourself? So what I cut out of my video was to protect that guy, but I don't understand, why should I at this point? You all should know this guy Jay is a fucking weirdo.
Question.
This guy
Question.
Jay is.
You should have deleted the video, you schmuck.
Sending people suicide notes and suicide baiting them because they won't talk to him. So there's some weird shit that you don't know about.
Question. Okay, first of all, do two wrongs make a right?
No, and I will be the first person to say two wrongs. I've said that in my videos. Two wrongs do not make a right. But no one is fucking perfect. Stop
Next
standing
one.
on a fucking moral high ground.
Next
Wow,
question.
I remember saying that. I remember making a post in 3 different areas talking about where I did wrong, but that wasn't good enough.
Why wasn't it where everybody saw the original content? Why wasn't it where everybody saw the original content?
Wait, it was. I
The
pinned
original
it.
content was on your YouTube. Why couldn't you publicly address it on your YouTube? That was my critique.
Did you, asshole? I did, you asshole. I put it on my. Not only did I put it underneath that video, that same fucking statement I put on Twitter, but I also put it on my community post too. What,
I
bro?
didn't see it. I didn't see
know
it.
because you don't know. Because guess
Because
what?
you don't do
Because
research, dude. You don't do your due diligence.
Videos aren't
This
about
is your
doing
our whole
research.
problem with you.
My videos are about expressing my feelings.
Expressing my.
Jesus Christ. Like I said, his incompetence knows no bounds. 3 different places. 3 different places Xylee showed the original content. 3 different fucking places. This fucking maroon couldn't see it. Yet he's out here saying to Xylee, older than fucking Milltown, use your noodle. Why don't you use your goddamn eyes? How about that? You use those eyes God blessed you with. Or use those 4 eyes since you have fucking glasses. And he's out here saying, I'm gonna express my feelings. Bro. To be quite honest with you. You should, like, if your YouTube was really about expressing your feelings, then you could have been using your platform to teach people about addiction. You could have used your platform to help other people. About what the pitfalls of addiction is. You could have told stories that it's not a Breaking TOS about addiction. You could just speak about the trials and tribulations. Yet what you decided to do is you decided to use your platform to be a good guy, bad guy, in between good guy and bad guy, being an interviewer, being a cuck, being a being a cloud chaser, being a bully, being a puppet, being malleable, being a lot of other things except for expressing your feelings. And if you just express your feelings, left alone, you're gonna have your own little corner of the internet where people value your words, your actions, your inspirations and everything. But no, what you have done is you decided to be emboldened by your community, thinking you're bigger than you are, and now you have to deal with a lawsuit and have to face your day in court, and not knowing whether or not your truth is strong enough to prevent you from going bankrupt. Share express your feelings.
Feelings. Oh,
It
it's about entertainment and expressing my
It
feelings.
is.
This is
It
you,
is.
dude.
It is.
Are
That
you
is.
really?
So I'm sorry,
Really?
but
Great.
obviously,
Then you're
let
then
me
you're
ask
then
you
you're
a
a clown.
question.
Then you're a fucking clown, bro.
Do clowns make money? Fucking A, they do.
Oh my god, it's not about
If clown, it's all about the money. It was always about the money. Like you guys, it was all about the Benjamins. This is not altruism. This is not the Dave that you see in today, where he claims about he's religious, he's all about being a good guy. This person is the same person, but with more of a mask on. You clowns make money. Puppets make money too. Very well. You guys don't know. Puppets make more money than fucking clowns do, to be honest with you. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
making money or not. It's
See,
not
it
about
is
numbers.
at
It's
this
not
point in
about
my
views.
life, it is.
It's about
Me
doing
and
the
my
right
life,
thing,
it is. If you
dude.
don't like that, don't watch the content. It's that simple.
Oh, good
If you
lord.
don't, if you don't like my
We
friends,
don't watch
my
the
shit,
content,
my-
dude. We don't.
Obviously, somebody's watching it. You guys are fucking got a people. How many viewers you got watching this right now? I guarantee you, it's
And then he fucking thinks like he is the A-lister. He thinks like he is making the content pop. Broski, you're not that guy. You don't have the repertoire of being that guy. You're not good. You don't add or multiply anything to a conversation. You're not that good. Never been that way. This is not me player hating, bro. I've seen your work, and the work is not good. The work is not good. You are a follower, not a leader. But as I said, he's just so centralized on being the center of attention, so encapsulated with money. It's not about doing the right thing. It's about what is the thing that will allow me to make more money, or to get more cachet, or to get more recognition. It's never about being good. It never has, and I don't think it will ever will be.
more than your average. So don't tell me it ain't about views.
Hey,
Don't tell me it ain't about that.
Hey, Milltown, let me tell you
It's a
something.
fucking business, and if you
Milltown.
don't understand that, you shouldn't be involved.
Milltown,
Sure,
listen.
Sure.
If it's a business, you shouldn't be involved. Damn. I get. He says it right there, ladies and gentlemen. If it's this is a business. If you don't think this is a business, you shouldn't be a part of it. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
Listen, okay? I'm gonna be honest. I don't give a fuck about your fees because you defend a doxer.
Okay, that's your choice.
Is-
Doesn't
okay.
mean I'm gonna stop making content or stop
Milltown.
making videos. Doesn't
I'm
mean
telling you to. I did.
Wait. I don't care how you feel because you're the doctor. Who cares? I'm still going to make videos. Who told you you shouldn't make videos? Like, and look, Xylee, not for nothing, fucking Xylee fucking is standing by, and Xylee kind of swept for her co-host drunk driving allegedly. Let's not. If you saying that they defending a doctor. You were defending your co-host from drunk driving, and like I said, it is what it is. If there's no proof that he looks sloshed. Like, let's just say for the sake of argument, he was tired. Doesn't fucking matter. Tired, drunk. If he had hit someone, like, what then? Oh no, he wasn't drunk, officer. He was just tired. That doesn't make a difference. Zali swept for that. Zali was like okay being around Mike as much as obliviating she did, and there was a particular scene where there was a crisis of consciousness. So again, everyone has a one black sheep that comes across their way that they will defend, or they will defend in action. Yeah.
I'm not telling you to stop making videos.
So you're gonna be hearing more about me. So get used to it.
No one hears about you except for the people that want to pull you on your bullshit. No one gave a fuck about you. If I asked my number one fan, Badwick, have you heard of Milltown? I don't know if Badwick knows who the fuck you is. Hell, it's interesting though. And I never broached this subject. It's funny though. I said the last stream where are Milltown's allies. And I realized she does have one ally. Her name is Maggot Edwards. Funny though, she has a show called War Smash and Warbangers. It's interesting that she didn't see her bestest best friend have a fucking meltdown because of the bounty. I'm surprised she didn't even bring it up or try to talk about it. She was more fucking concerned about Destiny, Nick, J-Stock, and all the other nonsense. Not try to put out awareness for her friend was getting hounded, quote unquote, by other people. That's your friend, Dave. Your friend don't give a fuck about you. And then bet you money she saw the tweet. You guys are besties. You guys were going to do a podcast together, but I don't know what the hell happened. Whatever bullshit you will come up with about why you and Maggot not doing a show, whatever, fuck it, it's not none of my business. But you did say you were going to do a show with her, and the fact that Maggot herself has a show, 2 shows actually, and you were not invited on to speak your piece, to plead the case to that side of the community about why you're being a martyr, being hounded. It's telling. It's really fucking telling. Just food for thought for you, Milltown.
I'm here to stay.
That's fine, Milltown. That's okay.
I mean,
No, you're not.
No,
Milltown.
there. So you can get stuck with this clown all you want. It doesn't matter to me.
Right.
The fact that I can get D-Max this riled up makes my day. It makes
my day. Clown. See, look at all that fervor, look at all that anger, look at all that haste on the internet, and yet allegedly he doesn't want to get served papers. He was going to other people's discourse and talk about or not discourse, other people's chat, say, guys, I'm defeated. Guys, I don't think I can do it anymore. Guys, please help me. Guys, save me.
makes me happy. It makes me happy, bro.
Right.
So
right.
the fact that I see growth and that everyone's talking about me on streams and all this, whether it's good or bad, and I hate to go with the Hugen route, but it is.
I'm still getting hate.
There you go. Yeah. Milltown. So question, is Dove, hold on 1 second, Sally. Is Dove a doxer? Did Dove dox?
I don't know personally. I heard it was I heard it was a direct message.
No. Wait. Nope. Wait. Hold on. Dove confirmed that she doxed.
Yes, but she doxed in a DM to Jay. And Jay took
No.
the DM of Fucking Tiger.
Yes. You said
so there
yes.
you go.
You said yes. So
Yes,
did she
yes,
dox?
yes,
Is she a
yes,
doxer?
Yeah, she investigated the fuck out of Darcy.
Okay, no. Stop using weasel words.
But that's
Is
what
she a doxer?
It's the fucking
Dude,
truth, D-Max. It's the fucking truth. Dude got
what do you mean it's the
investigated.
truth?
You just
It's the
said
truth that
two
she's a
Google
doxer?
searches. You just said it takes 2 fucking Google searches to find somebody's information.
Is
That's
she a
what she did.
doxer?
Yes.
Did Dove
Fucking
dox?
A she is. Fucking A she did.
She did. She did
Fucking
dox.
A. Fucking
You
A.
did. You agree. She doxed.
Fucking A I do. And
Yes, you do.
She's got my doc. She's got my doc. She's got everybody's doc.
So you're
she's got-
scared. So you're scared of her because she's a
Why
doxer.
would you-
Which is why you
I'm
wanted her as a friend and not as an enemy.
Wait, hold on. Time out a second. She has. Wait. In this thing, he says, Dove has my docs. One of your friends has your docs, right? You are out here talking about other people, like JH has your docs. Yeah, you're out here saying that another person has it and stuff. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's kind of weird that you say that. It's like, I don't know why you admitted to it on tape, but okay, wherever.
Right?
I'm not saying you're putting words in my mouth with that.
No, that's literally what you said on your stream. That's literally what you said in your video, dude.
I said in my video, the first time I met that Dove, I tried telling her something about myself. She said, "That's okay. We already know everything about you. So how would you?"
Why the fuck? See, this is why he needs to have something. He needs to check his brain seriously. Like, I don't know if it's the autism. I don't know if it's the fucking social awkwardness. Like, why the fuck would you say this shit and you're defending her against other people? You try to tell yourself about yourself to this person, and they say they know about you. Now, here's the thing with Dave that people may know, people may not know. As I said, Dave likes to throw shit out the wall. Dave accuses people of things that he has no proof of. He thinks that he has fucking evidence, which he never shows. He says it, but he never shows it. Before I was like, okay, this is 100% true. Like, Dove wants to say this to Dave, and he got scared, whatever. I think he's bullshitting about it. I don't think Dove said this at all. It would be weird for him to lie about that, but nothing would surprise me. Maybe they have an added effect. Who the fuck knows? But this here is just where I'm trying to go with this, especially for the new people that are watching, is that this man tries to make himself the spearhead in this case. He's the one that is trying to raise money for the family. He's the one that is talking shit about people. He's the one that says, "I ain't never scared." He says that we're hashtag the good guys. He says all of this. He wants to be the face that runs the place without the burden of having to deal with the responsibility of being the face of opposition. In these early days of Dave, of him trying to get himself a foothold into being public face, was not going well for him. He doesn't have the social capacity to be in a panel. To be quite honest, I don't have the social power of blood sports ferocity to deal with a panel like this, but I know my limitations. He doesn't. He doesn't understand what he needs to do to be successful. And I think that's a very important lesson that I want people to understand when it comes to Dave. Like, you could make fun of Dave, you could laugh at Dave, but like, there's so much more to him than meets the eye. Like there are things that like there is a pot video I would love to show you, but it's lost to the sands of time, and it was with Southern Pancakes, my friend Sin, and folks. Like that shit was amazing. 10 out of 10. It was the beautifulest destruction of Dave I've ever seen in life. But I just wanted to use this time to show what could happen to Dave in the future and what he was in the past. Hopefully, seeing his future self, his future possibility, and his past can help him fix the present and maybe get out of this relatively unscathed. I doubt it. His capacity to adapt is sucks. But yeah. He is an interesting creature, to say the least. Let me just see something. I need to just check something about I'll let this play.
You take that. I took that as holy shit. These people don't fuck around.
I would take that as yeah. Hey, let's be friends. Come on my show. Like what is wrong with you, dude? What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. They've been nothing but nice to me. They haven't done nothing with my docs.
They threatened you. They threatened you with your information apparently. But now, yeah, you're saying that apparently they had your information. They told you they had it. But yeah, they were all friendly. Yeah.
All I'm saying, D-Max, is this really? How can I say this and not make you sound like a fucking putz?
Go for it. Please make me sound. What you can insult me, man. It's fine. I appreciate that you care that I got riled up. That's cool.
I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just
no, it's fine.
You're voicing up an opinion here that really. Have you had any interactions with Dove? Have you had any interactions with me? Have you had any interactions with my co-host Eli? Have you had interactions with anybody on my channel?
Well, Eli's not really important to this at all. I don't know why you brought Eli into this.
She's my co-host, and everybody else feels the need to bring her up in this, so I'm bringing her up in this.
What?
So yes.
Who?
So yes.
Question: is Eli Valid Creations?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I like Valid, even though she made a video on me and shit. But I still like her. She's always been very nice to me. Okay, go ahead.
So have you had any interactions with all of us? Have you?
With that being said, folks, I just needed some little bit of time to get the redirect. But thank you all for watching. Super chat, super thanks, super everything. Don't know when the next stream will be, but it'll be something totally different, I promise you that. With that being said, have a wonderful day.